Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the Surgecast, part of the Hockey Podcast Network in Believe. I'm Zach Martin.
I'm Bailey Curtis.
And you might be surprised that, Kat's not here for the first time in forever hosting the show. So I'm back in the saddle once again, running the show
We're
with
making the
Bailey.
rounds.
For
We're
some
making
reason.
the rounds. I don't know what's going on.
Not all of us have been together for an episode for a while. Talk about a throwback to season 2, part of season 3, where it was just me and you, Bailey. So we're
just you and I.
Harkening back to the old times, I guess. But should be a fun episode this week. Well, fun-ish, if you want to call it that.
I'm gonna say there's a bunch to talk about.
Last episode we did talk about the comeback against the Dallas Stars. It's after a weird Jersey Columbus game the week before, and then of course we got to talk about the comeback against the Rangers.
Mm-hmm.
At least Thanksgiving on the holiday was nice before the post-Thanksgiving games against the Florida Panthers. We'll talk about that. Kind of preview the Seattle Kraken game a little bit, and also we're doing an early-ish preview of the Colorado Avalanche game on Thursday, but there's a lot more to that as well, but you have to wait until later in the episode to figure out what all of that is. But before we jump into everything, Bailey, how have you been and how was your Thanksgiving? Because I know you weren't with us for the last show.
No, Thanksgiving was good. I traveled down to Colorado Springs to see my dad and my grandparents, got to hang out with my cat, who I miss so much. Little Stormy is good, if anybody is wondering. She's very happy, very healthy.
That's good.
But yeah, we had a great Thanksgiving. I did not get the normal mac and cheese side and that was a little surprising. My grandmother didn't make mac and cheese. It was criminal, honestly.
That's a crime against humanity, and I will not stand for this.
But no, it was a good Thanksgiving. There's a lot to be thankful for. Had a lot of happy, healthy family in town, so it was great. How was yours?
It was good. Luckily, we did have some mac and cheese this time. Every time it's always good. Prime rib, always some good stuff. Yeah. We kind of do turkey, but not really. I'm more of a prime rib guy myself. I'm just not a big turkey person because it's just so
fair.
But
you're not eating the right turkey, my friend. If you're eating fried turkey, come on.
I know it's from what I heard, but honestly, the food is great. Food is always great. Can't complain whatsoever. Also, happy belated birthday to your dad. I know it was his birthday over the weekend too.
Over the weekend, yes.
Yep. So big belated birthday to Catfish. Very awesome for him. Another year of having to deal with you. It's okay.
Hey! Whoa! Talk about criminal. Whoa!
Oh, it's all a joke. I mean, hey, I said that I called it the mid-valanche, and we all know what happened last time I made that joke. So
it's point proven.
Point proven. Just take my jokes as jokes. Don't take it seriously because it just never works out. So, but that was good. Can't complain. Like I said, food was great. Company was great. But a lot to be thankful for. The games after that, we'll talk about them. But other than that,
they were games.
They were games. Yeah. But overall, it was a great Thanksgiving. Can't complain too much about that. And like I said, good sides, good desserts. Nothing wrong with that. It's very chill. So at least the game before, Thanksgiving Eve game against the Rangers. Kind of felt good about it. Hey,
I was going to say that's a great way to start off the holiday.
Yeah, hey, you get to be a divisional rival, and it's in a comeback game. Why not? And how about the fact too that it was the Rangers GM's nephew that got the first goal of the game for the Carolina Hurricanes, Jack Drury. I mean, what more can you say about this guy?
Yeah. No, Jack Drury's had an amazing season so far. Brind'Amour has been at full effect. So we've seen a few different guys jump around the lineup too, but Jack's been one of those guys who I think has been pretty consistent with his game. May not show up on the score sheet all the time, but he's really doing well with board battles, playing deep.
Second line center job too. He's
my gosh.
I think I saw a stat the other night. It was like during the game against the Florida Panthers in that second game, where like he was like this past week or this season, like he's leading the team in faceoff percentage.
Yeah,
like 56%. Like he's really killing in the faceoff dot, and that's saying something too. When you got like Sebastian Aho, Jordan Stahl, who's like the guy. Of course, it also helps too. You have Rod Brind'Amour, who's like the creme de la creme of I'm going to beat you in the faceoff dot. So the fact that Jack Drury's at 56% and leads the team in that, not bad for a guy you're throwing into your second line center after starting 4C for most of the season.
And let's just talk about too the goal that came from Jack Drury too, an insane angle shot that beats Shesterkin. That was incredible.
I think he saw what Jordan Martin did. He's like, "Hey, bet," and I'll do it for my naturals.
Yeah, no, it just goes to show the amount of skill and versatility this guy has. It's good in the faceoff dot, can hit those sharp angle shots. Like he's an incredible depth guy for your team. There's no doubt in my mind about that. And it's he's somebody that I think the Canes really, really treasure for that reason.
Right, exactly too. And it's good to see the fact that, we always talk about depth scoring, the fact that of how this team is so versatile that he could put, and Rod's even said it too, he could play anyone with anyone and they just work together, because that's just how great this team is. The fact that they kind of, for the most part, work together. And I think that's with Jack Drury. He's one of those guys where you can kind of slide up and down the lineup, especially like that second C, 4C.
Yeah.
You're kind of set up well there. And we have to talk about one of the guys who had one of the assists in that goal was Martin Necas, which at the time before this last Panthers game, that guy was in the middle of a 4-game point streak after his 13-gamer got snapped. But Martin Necas, he's just staying hot, staying consistent. He's, as of right now, still second in the league in points, only one behind Kirill Kaprizov after the Florida games. So, can't complain too much about how great Martin Necas has been. Of course, he had another assist later in the game, but look at that. Point, Martin Necas, color me shocked.
Oh my gosh, no. And I was surprised to see, Kirill Kaprizov I didn't realize that he had kind of jumped on Martin Necas, but still to be.
Yeah, I checked this morning when I was writing some articles. I'm like, oh, yeah, look at that. Kirill Kaprizov leads the league now. So there you go.
It's fine.
It's fine.
That game did jump Sam Reinhart into the top 5, which makes me a little, it hurts for my Avalanche, but it's fine. No,
Martin Necas, though. Oof.
Martin Necas, the fact that he was first in points still holds second in points.
Only 1 point too, so he's still there. He's still there. So,
and I mentioned with Kat on the episode that she and I did a couple weeks ago that the fact that this is not something the Hurricanes or fans have really seen before with this team. It's really exciting to have somebody in that heart conversation. And I was thinking about it last night too, and I think you come off of a previous bridge deal that isn't worth as much. You go on to one that they're paying you the big money to produce big, and that's exactly what he is doing. Now, the big question mark that I kind of hold to is we a lot of times see Martin Necas struggle with consistency. We see the confidence is there. We know that skill is there. It's the skill that Rod Brind'Amour and the team have been able to see for the past couple years, and why they've held on to him for as long as they have.
Right.
But I am almost worried about that fall off consistency wise too. And I would love to eat my words on that and say that he's going to stay hot for the rest of the season. I would love to see him continue on the pace that he is on currently. I am just a little worried, given past experiences, to potentially see that fall off come the times that matter.
Yeah, well, I think too is the fact that as long as Rod doesn't mess with the lines too much and he kind of keeps it, if he at least keeps Robinson on his opposite side, I think Necas will be fine. It's just that flip-flopping of lines, it throws him out of his groove. And then if he gets guys that aren't really up to where he is in terms of his pace and what he can do, I think that's where it turns into he has to do more than what's necessary if the rest of his line is struggling. So if he has that, it seems like with him and Robinson, they work really well together. As long as at least he has him, I think we'll be fine. It's just, you got to hope that it's not we got to kickstart other lines. Marty's on fire. Let's move both of his guys off the lines, try to get someone else going, and maybe it'll work out. Then it's like, But now you're putting pressure on him to be the line driver, where maybe he kind of is, but he's got a guy that's also there with his speed level instead of having two guys that are kind of slower, then slowing him down where he has to do more. So I think that I see where you're coming from in terms of like, you don't want the fall off to happen, but I also think too is the fact that you can't put him in a spot where he has to overcompensate for the rest of his line. So
right.
That's the one thing I think you got to worry about is not getting too crazy with, oh, he's hot. He can play. He will just throw whoever there. It's like, well, no, you got to keep us with working. So,
Right.
blending the lines is fine, but let's not get too crazy here. And it's like what you saw the other night where you're like, what is this?
I was going to say, we'll get to more blending the lines later because
we will
talk about Rod Brind'Amour.
Yeah, for sure. But
wow.
But then Martin, like I said, he got an assist on that goal with Jack Drury. Well, he got another assist in this one on the power play with Seth Jarvis. I mean, talk about Seth Jarvis coming back in a hot fashion.
Mm-hmm.
Misses 7 games, comes back 3 goals in 3 games. It's a shorty against Dallas. It's a power play goal against the Rangers, which you love to see. And of course, as surprise, Martin Necas primary assist on both of those goals. Have another multi-point game for Marty. And then, of course, the Rangers 3-2 going into the last period. But of course, we've been there, done that. They were down against Dallas, down against the Rangers going into the third period. And then just very Kotkaniemi. What an absolute great job by him, Robinson, and Gostisbehere to make that play work. It's where you keep it in, get behind the goal, and then just Barry finding a way to board battle and somehow beat Igor Shesterkin, who, like, from an angle, he wasn't even looking at Kotkaniemi. He was looking in the opposite direction, and KK hits him on a perfect wraparound on the opposite side. And just, hey, I'll throw it off your pad and see what happens. So, what did you think of that goal from KK? I thought it was great awareness by him to board battle, then find a way to get the puck on the net.
So I actually missed the third period. I unfortunately the Hurricanes were not the only one of my 2 teams playing that night. I actually sat on a stream with Jimmy from the Blue Seats with the Rangers for the first 2 periods. And I did unfortunately have to go watch warm-ups for the third. So I did miss that, unfortunately, but nothing but good things to say about Kotkaniemi this year too. I mean, obviously goals have been a little hard to come by for him. So it's exciting anytime you see him get pucks on net and something finally goes in for him. But he's been an incredible playmaker this season too. So to see him be a little bit selfish with the puck and finally find that goal for himself too is something that I personally love to see from him.
Oh, 100%.
I heard from other people that the third period was just really, really heavy. Like the Canes really brought their A game.
They were throwing a lot of heavy hits, a lot of heavy hits in the third period.
You love to see, honestly, and you could see that kind of start building up in the first 2 periods. That first period, and even a little bit of that second too, even though the Rangers let in goals during that second, it didn't really look like the Rangers that I'm used to seeing. And I was talking with Jimmy about this too. And you can tell that there's a little bit of a disconnect between this team.
Yeah, well, that's why they're on a losing streak.
They're really, really struggling. But this is not the same aggressive Rangers team that we saw last season in the regular season, let alone in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And something I mentioned too is like the team didn't change all that much.
No, outside of them losing Lindbergh and Rosovic and a couple, and one of the guys that went to the Sharks, I forget who it was, but yeah, I mean, other than that, I mean, it's pretty much almost the same roster across the board. And now they're talking about shaking up a roster that's including trying to move Trouba and also trying to move Chris Kreider too, which is kind of surprising because, I mean, he doesn't have any assists right now, but Kreider is still Kreider. I mean, he's still an issue, but for a lot of teams. But I mean, it's definitely not your same old Rangers, and it was honestly so good to beat them at home, especially when it's I don't know if you saw it, but there was a photo of.
I did.
That was from.
Watch out for the carry traffic during the third period as Rangers fans start to leave. That was
so
amazing.
The fact that like open up from Bleacher Report, Open Ice caught it, and like everyone is just loving it. It was so great. But before we run into that, game's tied. It's getting late. You're kind of hoping that the Hurricanes can find a way to get another one to get the lead. And of course they do. And obviously it's on the power play. Here's the thing that's crazy too, Bailey. This was the first PP2 goal of the season. It took them until this game. Yeah, this was their first. This was the second unit's first goal all season on the power play. Wow. Every other one has been by the first unit. This was the second unit's first ever goal. And the fact, too, is from a Jack to Jackson connection. So the fact was,
doesn't get much better than that.
Yeah, no, you get Jack Roslovic for his second assist, Jack Jury's fifth assist, a multi-point game from him, and of course Jackson Blake's seventh goal of the season on the power play, right in the slot. No one's around him, and I'm glad that showed you the poise of this kid and the hockey IQ of. Any other player would have been like freaking out, like, "Oh my gosh, I gotta get the puck on the net." He's like, "Nope, I'm doing too much moving. Stop, collect, shoot," and he picked the spot that he wanted and went in. Like that shows you how mature this kid is.
The patience that it takes
for 21 years old, to stop, set, and then shoot instead of just like freaking out and just putting the puck on the net. Like,
yep.
And the thing too
is not like we talk all the time about quantity versus quality too. This is one of those shots. Like, yes, you want to get something on net. It's a power play. Obviously, you want to try to make something happen, but to sit there and take a second to slow the game around you down, because it takes a special player to sit there and know, like, okay, yeah, there's great passing sequences, but maybe this is becoming a little too much. So to sit there and be able to slow that down, especially from a guy who's 21 years old, first year in the league, there's not much more you can say about that and say wow. Yeah,
I mean, great goal by him. He's actually only two behind Mitya Vichkov in terms of rookie goal scorers. Mishkov's got
the
two.
Canes. I'm telling you.
So it's about wearing number 53 for the Hurricanes. It makes sense. But yeah, he's only a couple goals behind Michkov. I think he's seventh all-time in points. I think he's still 7 back of Michkov overall for points-wise. But here's the thing, Billy, because I wrote an article that's going to come out today about Jackson Blake. Yes. Huh? Hey, you do too. So you can't do that you can't do that too. You can't.
I don't push it nearly as much as you do on the podcast. So
that's your fault, I guess.
Well, it's also not a
Hurricanes
podcast. So,
I know.
Yeah, there you go.
But for the fact that Jackson Blake is 7th in points, 2 goals behind Michkov. And here's the thing too. He's averaging time on ice 12 minutes and 35 seconds. Where Michkov is like 17:55, I believe. And then you look at Macklin Celebrini, he's over 19 minutes.
Yeah.
So you're talking about a kid in Jackson Blake who's being able to do what he's doing for 10 points in 24 games with very minimal ice time outside of an occasional top line minutes, maybe. Second power play, which is like 30 seconds at the most. And then fourth line, and I say that in air quote, minutes. It goes to show that he's taking advantage of the opportunities he's giving with the limited ice time he's doing, and I think that's why he should be in more consideration for some discussions of a Calder. I don't know if he's going to win it unless he just goes absolutely off and starts just racking up points, but I still think he's someone who's very underrated right now, who should be like, hey, we know we got Michkov, we know we got Celebrini, Will Smith, Stink Covenden with the Stars. But let's not overlook this kid Blake in Carolina because he's still doing something with less than 13 minutes. I think it's 2 guys. They're actually within the top 10 in points who have maybe a little bit less than ice time than him. I forget one of them. His name escapes me right now. But the other guy, Ivan, top 10 in points in the league.
Best hockey name ever.
Yes. Yes, and I think he's averaging 11 something. So I know it's one other player. I'm forgetting who it is, but I know the other one's Ivan. Like out of the top 10 in terms of points getters, Jackson Blake is the third fewest time on ice, which is crazy to think of. But overall, great goal by him. Carolina gets the back-to-back wins in comeback fashion. I guess you can say the comeback Canes, the cardiac Canes, however you want to put it, are pleasantly back, and it's kind of surprising too when you go into the week and everyone's thinking, "Oh, the Canes might win a game," but they go out, they beat Dallas, they beat the Rangers. I mean, Rangers are a team right now, but hey, Dallas is a really good team on the West.
I mean, even if the Rangers are a meh team, again,
they're still fourth they're still in the playoff spot.
Well, they're in a playoff spot, but they're also a team that the Canes have really, really struggled against, especially mentally. They're a team that
these teams hate each other with a passion.
With a burning passion. And for some reason, the Hurricanes really, really, really let this affect them on a bigger mental level than the Rangers do.
100%.
Yeah, and so it's a team that this team really struggles against. And to see that comeback win, not only is it a comeback win, but it's a win against a rival that knocked us out of the playoffs.
Yeah.
This is a huge win for this team.
100%.
Now, it's a little difficult when you go from that and you move into Black Friday against the Panthers.
Yeah, but at least you got to celebrate Thanksgiving with family in town. I will say this about Jackson Blake, one quick thing. For the fact that I think it helps him where he's at mentally and mature-wise in development is the fact that he's a second-generation Blake in the NHL because his father, Jason, was a former New York Islander. So that's a good thing to have when you kind of where you have a dad that's not always in your ear, but someone you can talk to about like, hey,
he helps with the experience. Absolutely.
Yeah. So, and the funny, because I know Mike and Tripp talked about it too on the broadcast, it's kind of like, it's just listen to the coach. I'm going to stay out of your way. But now it's like, hey, I want to lean on you to get your perspective on things. So it's kind of good the fact that you got a dad who's been there and done that in Jason. Now you got Jackson doing his thing. So that's, and the fact that he scored with his family in town, you love to see it.
Absolutely.
So
super wholesome.
But yes, you go to Thanksgiving. You go to Thanksgiving. You're loving it. You got some good food in you. Family's in town. And
the
then
turkey
Friday
hangover
happens.
kicks in.
And somehow it's just like the Rangers. Somehow every time we play the Florida Panthers, these games, I don't know what it is about these games against Florida, especially the last 2 days. I mean, my gracious, it was. And here's the crazy part too: is you outshoot Florida 10-7 in the first period. We'll talk about how the first period was on Saturday's game as well, where you outshoot Florida. You're kind of feeling good about yourself. Seth Jarvis, third goal in 3 games with a goal in a row. Obviously, another power play. Aho and Gostisbehere, great. You love to see it. You tie it up after Jesper Boquist, who, funny enough, is Adam Boquist's brother. So somehow you have 2 Boquists on the same team in Florida. Didn't even know that until yesterday. Of course. And then the big boys of the Florida Panthers showed up. Sam Reinhart makes it 2-1. Barely 2 minutes later, Connor Verhaeghe makes it 3-1. And then you're going into the first period, you're down 3-1. You're like, okay, not the greatest. It is what it is. But hey, in the second period, you get like, all right, we've seen them be down before. Maybe there's another comeback. And guess what? We saw a comeback. They tie it 3-3 thanks to Sean Walker, which that goal was absolutely
insane
nasty.
Shot from the top of the slot.
Oh
my God.
An absolute snipe, right top cheddar. I mean, I don't think you could find the cookies any better than Sean Walker. Now, and for the fact that it was his 100th point in the NHL too, you love to see it. That is a great way to get number 100.
I will say, I love and I'm sitting here watching the edge goal visualizer just to kind of get a better idea of this shot from, was that No, yeah, that's Jack Roslovic.
Yeah, Gostisbehere to Roslovic to Walker. Yeah, that was
my
just
God.
a beaut.
I love the board battle or the fight in God's Despair to start making that play happen too.
Yep.
Just the chemistry between those two on the back end as well. I will never stop talking about how much I love it. They have their lapses in judgment, and obviously defensive breakdowns happen, but as far as chemistry goes, it seems like they work really, 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 really well together.
Oh, they really do. I will say this too. Like you talk about the goal visualizer, that addition to the game center,
Oh my
absolutely
god.
fantastic. It's so
So
good.
great. So it's fantastic. It's the best thing that's ever happened to the NHL website.
That's saying something too, but
Right.
but great board battle by God's Despair, which I know a lot of people are like, he hasn't really been doing that great. He has. The points haven't been there, but he's been doing a lot more extra stuff, which is fine.
Evan Abramson just posted something on Twitter this morning.
I saw, fantastic.
Where
Yeah,
he's
it was
sitting
this
here
morning.
comparing stats, which obviously, God's Despair is not doing as good, but the stats are between him and Jake Gensel, who ended up signing with the Tampa Bay Lightning, are very, very similar. And you're comparing a guy who was supposed to be one of the top free agents on the market this past free agency to a third pair defenseman.
Yeah, and who's your who's your PP1 quarterback? And
I rest my case.
Yeah.
That's
it's the way Gossett has been playing, like Evan's great. We got to find a way to get him on because he's just fantastic.
Love that man.
The fact that Gossett has been playing too, and the fact that it shows you where getting more time rather than like the first time we had for a handful of games. You're seeing now giving a full preseason with the team. You're 24 games into the season now. Of course, this was game 23. You're seeing how he's going from a pure offensive defenseman to still being mainly offensive, but you're seeing his defensive side picking up a little bit. And his board battles have gotten so much better. That board battle was so great to set up to Roslovic, who found Walker all alone. That's a great setup. You love to see it. And then you move on. Sorry.
I was going to say, I love the cycle back too, just to kind of help reset as well.
Yeah, great.
You saw him, God's Despair, say whatever you want about him on the defensive end. Obviously, again, defensive lapses. He's got a great eye for the offensive game.
I mean, he's got 14 assists. That's pretty good for a guy who you consider mainly supposed to be your main defensive scorer. So he's putting up points where he needs to. Jack Roslovic has 30 assists. Now, this goal, Eric Robinson, fantastic goal by him too. Jackson Blake with 30 assists.
Front presence.
Great tip job by him on a Jalen Chatfield shot. Of course, Jalen Chatfield 6 assists, Jackson Blake's 3rd. Eric Robinson has been he's been such a great addition to the Hurricanes for the fact that he makes less than $1 million.
Yep.
Has been finding he is 7th on the team in points, which is crazy to think about. That's just how good he's been playing right now. Is the fact that he's finding ways to contribute on the 4th line, on the 2nd line, and being able to be a contributor everywhere he needs to be. And his speed, and Seth said it over the offseason. He's got some sneaky speed. And the fact that you add him and Roslovic for a combined $3-point-something million, because I think Roslovic's like 2.8, and then less than $1 million for Robinson. You're talking about two guys who are making less than $3 million combined. And their depth play has been so good for the Hurricanes. And the fact that you get Roslovic, Robinson's speed matches so well with Necas, and that's why I hate when you don't see those two together, because they pair each other off so good, and that's why you see a lot of their offensive chances with Robinson and Necas. You see so much more high danger leverage chances, because who do you stop? You got speed on the left with Robinson, or you got speed on the right with Necas. Who do you stop? And I think that's why when you do the Brind'Amour, you have to leave those two guys alone. Center, fine, do what you need to do. But for me personally, do not split Robinson and Necas up ever. Those two are so good together. What do you think about that?
Bruce Cassidy said something very interesting to me the other day before the Avs Vegas game that I think really could hit home with a lot of different teams. And it was like, you look at guys, top guys in the league or the top guys on a team, and obviously they're going to get their chances and they're dangerous chances that you don't want to give up. But it's a matter of choosing which chances to give them.
Right.
And I think that's really kind of profound in a sense where you've got two teams with a lot of fantastic talent. And so picking and choosing which chances to give them, because I mean, they're going to get their chances either way. But if you can pick and choose the chances that are going to give your goaltender the best opportunity to make a save, I think that's really, really smart on their part.
Yeah.
And so it's sorry, there's a lot going on in the background. But I think you look at dangerous chances like that. Obviously, you got Robinson and Necas on the line together. Like a lot of speed, a lot of talent there, especially in Necas, who has looked incredibly confident this season. And in some cases, there's no stopping him. He's more than proved that. But being able to kind of pick and choose how you structure your defense. Okay, do you put a little bit more of that coverage on Necas and give him a little less real estate to work with versus Robinson, who maybe has that speed, but again, getting paid less, maybe not as much experience and talent in the front end where that kind of stuff is concerned. The talent, we said it earlier, you can't break it up. That line, that the chemistry with those two, the way that they're working together is incredible. But I think it really makes teams work that little bit extra harder, or extra hard to make sure that they can cover both ends of the ice, because they make it really, really dangerous to do so. And being able to kind of see that, because no matter where it goes, I mean, obviously, one's getting paid to do a little bit better than the other, but Robinson's still doing his job. He's still doing what he needs to do on the other side of the ice. But being able to pick and choose and kind of have that vision, it makes it that much harder for teams to defend against these two.
Right, exactly. And while they haven't played great together, unfortunately, that game did snap Necas' 4-game point streak. And as we saw pretty much for both games, they neutralized the absolute crap out of, like, Necas had no shot to get anything done. I mean, Tkachuk at least a couple times went after him in that game and in the game in Florida too. Like, you could tell that Necas was a marked man. That both of those games, like, they neutralized him.
And that's what makes it so difficult too, when you have not only a back-to-back, but a back-to-back playing the same team.
Defending the defending champs, and you know how Florida is too. Like,
oh, absolutely.
Maroons, those guys will just tear you apart. They will hit you all the time.
Oh, absolutely. They're a very physical team. I mean, there's a reason they won the cup. Yeah. And so I sit here and I say that because even though they won the game on Friday, there's a lot to improve from. Obviously, they allowed 3 goals. So there's a little bit of video you sit down and watch. There's a little bit of tweaking that happens in the hours between games. And you can tell that they did their homework and did what they needed to do to, again, neutralize the hell out of this team.
Yeah, and that's why you see them score 3 goals in the third period. That one for the goal that they gave up to AJ Greer. Bad puck management in the neutral zone gave Florida an opportunity to cut him on the counterattack. The Anton Lundell shorthanded goal, that was just just not great defending. I mean, Spencer Martin had the initial shot, but he rebounded right to an open guy. They score, nothing you can do about it. And then Sam Bennett, unfortunately, what Sam Bennett does, found a way to get in the empty netter, and now you're talking, all right, 6-3. You're still 2-1-0 for the week. Okay, you have the next day to come back and have a revenge game, hopefully against the Panthers. And I will say this, Bailey. We'll talk about the game as a whole, but I want to give just overall shot total in the game stats because I think this really plays into what we saw.
Mhm.
Oh boy.
This
Shot
is never
total.
good.
The Hurricanes outshot Florida 11-9, and then I posted this on X and Blue Sky, and even Wade Minter commented on my one on Blue Sky. Which, hey Wade, good to see you back again. It's fun interacting with him again. He said that looks bad. Is that bad? I'm like, I checked with the sources. It's pretty bad. They got outshot, Bailey, 26-9 in the last 40 minutes of that game. Here's the thing, too. The Hurricanes had 2 shots in the third period. Florida had 16, and Florida scored 4 goals that period. And here's the thing that makes it worse, too. 2 of those goals were both power plays by Barkov and Rodriguez. The Hurricanes gave up 3 power play goals on 6 chances. They got outscored 4 goals to 2 shots in that last period. And that's after going up. That's after being 0-0 after 1, only being down 2-0 after the second. Of course, it should have been 1-0, but they gave a goal with less than a second left to Mackie Samoskevich, who, when I used to cover the Charlotte Checkers for the Calder Times, Mackie, I knew that kid was going to be a danger when he gets a chance in the NHL. And he is already has 5 goals in that power play goal. I mean, great placement by him.
What is it with games against the Canes and the Panthers and
always a last second
goal? I
get PTSD from the Eastern Conference Final where somehow it's always Florida. And
my friend texted me yesterday and he went, I need an Eastern Conference team to root for. You guys need to be better. Like, more exists beyond the Eastern Conference Final, right? And I went, oof.
Yeah, it's rough. I will say this game was the thing. Yeah, so outside the power play goals aside, 3 out of 6 penalty killers got absolutely smoked. Hits were about even. Block shots 15-8 for the Panthers. The thing that really, the fact that you play these guys 3 times all season, you just played 2 of them. Your next game is January 2nd back in Florida, and that's it.
Yep.
We'll talk about weird scheduling because we got New Jersey later this month, which we'll talk about that another time. How weird scheduling, because that's it for us against them. We don't even play them in 2025, so you might maybe talk about playoffs, but that's another conversation. Yeah, that's it. 4 games, all of them in 2024 against the Devils, but another conversation for later.
Can't tell if that's good or bad.
Scheduling, NHL scheduling. Welcome.
You're right.
The thing is with this game, like, the Sam Bennett hit on Jalen Chatfield, that was an unnecessary interference. I don't know why you think it's okay just to throw a shoulder to a guy who's right. Like, I know that was just insane. And the fact that he threw him right into Spencer Martin. Great job by just Barry Kotkaniemi for sticking up for his teammates and getting in there going after Bennett, because that was definitely needed. Seth Jarvis going against Aaron Ekblad. That was
did see that.
I mean, hey, don't mess with Seth Jarvis, man. He will they were still jawing at each other after that. That was going, I think that was the end of the first period too. I believe we're still like 0-0.
Dude just got done talking about how he wants to fight Fishy, and you're going.
And he's like,
you're going
I'm
after
against
him.
Aaron Ekblad. I went against Aaron Ekblad. So at least you saw
Fishy, but
at least you saw some fight where it's like, okay, we're not going to let you push us around, but also you also did get pushed around. So at least there was something there. Jeez. But I know it sucks. It's on a back-to-back. You got to play Spencer Martin both games, which, oh, gosh, that's so tough. And then Jan Pretz does come in, but Bailey, I mean, you got outscored 12-3 in 2 games. You got outshot 26-9 in the last 40 minutes.
There's I think something to be said about, again, there's a reason that they won the Stanley Cup. There's a reason, like this is a good team. Maybe it doesn't look the same roster wise, but it's still the team that won the Stanley Cup, and they did it for a reason. But
Sam Bennett
and
Sam Bennett and Matty Tkachuk. Gosh.
Yeah.
So
comma and I think the Hurricanes have been on a roll. They've been a really dangerous team
Oh,
and
yeah.
faced adversity after adversity after adversity this season. And on top of adversity with the goaltending situation, which it seems like almost everybody in the league is struggling with this season.
Yeah, goal scoring across the board, unless you're like Kevin Lankin in the Canucks or Joseph Woll in the Maple Leafs, yeah, it's a struggle everywhere right now.
Yeah. And so this is a team who they weren't slated to be as good as they are currently. I'm not worried at all. Yes, the
I'm not
goaltending
either.
situation sucks. There's, I think, a conversation that needs to happen between Rod Brind'Amour and Kochetkov if it hasn't happened already. I love that Kochetkov is as aggressive as he is, and I love his poke checking, and I love the way that he gets involved with plays, and
scale it back, somebody.
yes,
We
because
need you. We need you.
situations like this happen, and it can make or break a team. And I don't
Yeah.
it's something you're seeing the Canes break down because of it. Because as much as you love Spencer Martin and the way he's stepped up for this team, he's not the starter. He's not the starter that this team needs. He's not. You can tell there's a little bit of shakiness playing in front of him. Something I've noticed, man needs to learn to stay in his crease. Because I notice he has a tendency to wander. And that's not exactly helping Martin's case right now. But I do think there's a bit of a disconnect between the crease and the rest of the ice that needs to be fixed. That I think will be better as soon as Kochetkov gets back, and it's getting Martin the good experience that he needs to back up Kochetkov, because having that experience in that backup position is crucial. Again, if anybody's going to be able to tell you about that, the Avalanche, I've got experience for days talking about that. But having that experience, having that backup experience is going to be crucial for Martin. But once Kochetkov's back, like you know who the team's going to be relying on more and more, and if they're going to be relying more and more and more on Kochetkov, he's got to scale it back. He's got to dial it down. He's got to learn to defend the goal and defend the goal first instead of playing the puck.
Yeah, because right now Piotr is 10-2-0. Of course, he did start 13 games, but didn't get the decision against Columbus. 242 goals against and a 904 save percentage.
Mm-hmm.
Yanov Peretz, can't blame the kid. That just sucks for him to lose his 1,000 save percentage. He did give up a goal on the 7 shot attempts. He's now a 732 goals against and an 857 save percentage, of course. You can't blame the kid. You just got thrown into the fire against Florida. Mm-hmm. Spencer Martin, 3-4-0-1. Save percentage is 846. Goals against 3.89.
Yep.
Because he gave up 11 of those 12 goals in 2 games. I mean, what can you do? I mean, it sucks. Like you said, I agree with you. It's like he's not the star. I like Martin, but yeah, it's just. And I said it last week. Do I see the Hurricanes making a move? No. I hate to say it. I don't see it. I know everyone's.
They maybe get a little. They maybe get a little bit more depth.
I know everyone wants to move. I'm sorry. You still have Freddie coming back in February. Where are you going to get a goalie from? And what's the cap situation going to be like when Freddie comes back?
Yeah,
I hate to say it. Honestly, they're waiting for Pierre to come back and then hopefully ride him. It's throw Martin here and a start there for back-to-backs, but
yep. I can maybe see them making a depth move skater-wise, but even then, for me, it's a don't fix what isn't broken type situation.
You're still 16-7-1. You're third in the Metro. You're 1 point behind the Devils, which you still have like 3 games in hand on. You're 2 points back of the Capitals. You've played the same number of games, fine. Yeah, it's a bad stretch right now, but you're still within a shooting distance of the division, which no one thought we were going to win. So I'll take where we're at right now. Yes, it's an adversity spot. We've been here before. We've seen it happen. We saw them turn around in December last year. Right now it's December 1st as we record. Not sure when this drops, but the point still is you're still getting we have a lot of hockey left. We're 24 games into an 82 game season. That's so many games.
So many.
But you still have time to make it back. So yeah, it sucks, but just gotta, we're gonna have to be patient, roll with it. I think they're waiting for Chekhov to come back. Probably gonna wait for Freddie to come back because I don't see them making a move right now. I just don't see it. I could be wrong, but none of the Hurricanes are, and I said it last week, they're not a knee-jerk reaction team.
Nope, not at all.
I know people don't want to hear that, but
again, and we're sitting here looking at this as American Thanksgiving has come and gone. That's been kind of the benchmark for a lot of, okay, what does your team need by this point? And this is what you go and focus on for the trade deadline. I don't see it. Again, they need healthy goaltenders is what they need. And they're going to have Pyotr Kochetkov back here within the week. That's the hope.
If they make a move for goaltending, Bailey, I see it by the trade deadline. Freddie, thank you. We're gonna figure something else out because you can't stay healthy. Maybe they make a move then. They trade him somewhere else, bring in another guy. Maybe maybe that's when you make the move and roll it out.
Yeah.
Then. And just go in the next offseason with Pyotr signed, and then you go find his tandem partner because Freddie's contract's up, Martin's contract's up. You got Peretz, who's probably going to be in the AHL next year. If you want to go get a rental and maybe you want to find someone else to go play with Kochetkov and let Anderson go somewhere else and then go get his tandem partner in the summer, that could be a move. That could be something they might do.
To be completely honest, too, given the limited, thin goaltender market this upcoming free agency, too, I could very well see the Hurricanes holding on to Spencer Martin for maybe one more year. Maybe that's their rental and they hold on to that because they know what to expect.
Otherwise,
a
third goal. He could be a third goalie again next year, which wouldn't be bad. I mean, that's what the plan was this year, was going to be their third goalie in Chicago. Maybe it's the same thing to do next year, but
I don't see them splashing on goaltenders. And I know, you say the Canes aren't a big splash team. Like they're not normally the team to go out and make a big splash. Jake Gensel was the first time.
It's off-season moves. That's all they do.
Trade deadline, and Mike Maniscalco said it best on the podcast. Trade deadline's not really the time for a team like the Hurricanes to go out and make a big splash type move.
That's always the off-season.
Always the off-season. Jake Gensel has been the first time I can remember in a while that the Hurricanes have made a big splash at the deadline. And even then, it wasn't a huge splash. Like we gave up Michael Bunting, and I mean, Ponomarev was kind of a big loss to our farm system.
Yeah, I mean, because was it 2 seasons ago? It was Gostisbehere and Puljujärvi. Okay. Before that, it was Max Domi.
Yeah. 42 seconds to go to the trade deadline. Yeah. Oh God.
And I thought we were getting no one because it seemed like we weren't going to get someone in that trade, and then last second, here's a move, and you're like,
okay,
what?
Yeah. So I honestly will be a little surprised if the Hurricanes make anything more than maybe a small move to help depth.
Yeah,
but even
goaltending,
then,
I don't see anything. I just don't.
Free agency is going to be a different story again because everybody's going to be buying for a goaltender. Everybody's looking for goaltenders. It is a thin market, not to mention a lot of the goaltenders on the market are going to be looking for a ton of money. And that's money that I don't know if the Canes are going to have.
Well, with Burns and Anderson and Orlov's contracts coming off the books, they might have something to get some help with it. We're not talking like probably cream of the crop, but if we're talking someone who's a good tandem goalie with Pyotr, I can see the Hurricanes making a move for someone that's going to make it at least okay, this is the tandem worth fearing in the NHL. But
Mhm.
those 3 contracts, those will probably
Give me
help.
veggie. Give me veggie. Do it.
Give us veggie.
Give me veggie.
Now the thing is, do you bring back Roslovic and Robinson and all those?
Right.
Yeah, this offseason is gonna be very. And then do you give Marty Necas an extension if he continues what he does this year? So,
I've
but
got a Martin Necas is still an unchecked mark for me. I love what he's doing this season. I got to see him continue it before I'm sold.
yeah, right.
So,
So with that out of the
anyway.
way, we got the bad out of the way. Now we got the previews coming. But before we jump into that, we got to talk about our sponsors. So stick with us as we right back to preview the Kraken and the Avalanche here in a second on the Surgecast.
There's nothing quite like watching a Canes comeback win live in person like we did recently. And if you're looking forward to getting to a game this year, go to a game with Gametime. Gametime has a new feature called Gametime Picks that makes getting tickets to see your favorite teams play live even easier. Gametime Picks filters out all the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. Hey, Bailey's Avs are coming to town here soon. Right now, the super deal for that, Section 109, all-in pricing for only $168. Again, just amazing curated deals to make it easier to find the best prices on great seats through the super deal. Again, and you get to see seats before you even buy. Lowest price guarantee, even cancellation protection, job loss protection, and more. So use Gametime Picks. Again, the curation makes it easier to save more on sports, concerts, comedy, etc. Even Mariah Carey, her Christmas little tour is coming to town here soon as well. Get in on that. The all-in pricing allows you to toggle through and show you the total upfront with no surprise fees at checkout. Get a panoramic view from your seat in the app before you buy with the seat views, and the lowest price guarantee or Gametime will give you 110% of the difference. Gametime ticket coverage. Your purchase is covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Gametime Picks. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code THPN for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code THPN for $20 off. Download Gametime today. What time is it? Gametime. The 24-25 NHL season still has that new car smell, and the action is heating up at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL. It's super easy for first-timers to get started at DraftKings Sportsbook. Try betting on something simple like picking a team to win. And if you are new to DraftKings, listen up. New customers bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets if your bet wins. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code THPN. That's code THPN for new customers to get $150 in bonus bets if your bet wins when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Our OG sponsor, Primo X Hockey. Whether it's apparel, bags, goalie gear, jerseys, you name it, Primo X. Yeah, even a couple of buckets for you. Primo X Hockey has it for you. They are located here in Raleigh, 1401 Diggs Drive, Suite E. Monday through Friday, they're open 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Even have availability and times open on the weekend from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. on Saturday and 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. on Sunday. So for local pickup, save 20% with code in-store pickup online. How about that deal? Also use code SurgeCast for 20% off your Sebastian Aho deals as well. So even skate sharpening, $5. How about that deal? Primo X Hockey. They have all the hockey gear to get you right for the season.
And we are back. Thank you to our amazing sponsors, as always, for helping us keep doing what we do here at the Surgecast. A big shout out to them, and of course,
and thank you to our unpaid intern for all of your help with ads.
Yes, and also shout out to the network too for helping us get all these amazing sponsors as well. Big shout out to them, and of course, always guys say this: support local. Gotta take care of the guys at Primo. They are amazing since day one, and I don't know how many episodes we're at this point. I don't know how many episodes we're at this point. Yeah,
it makes me wish I was in town longer so I could go say hi to the guys over there. They're a fantastic crew.
Yes, 100%. Now we get to preview the Kraken game for your Carolina Hurricanes. The last time these two teams met up was during the Western Canadian road trip. And for the fact that they face each other, the Hurricanes came out on a 4-1 win. But quick breaking news, Bailey. Martin Necas' first star of the month of November just dropped as of recently on the Hurricanes website. So big props to Marty Necas for being.
Can we just talk about how this
first star
after
November?
We finished recording the podcast? Can we just talk?
I know, right? Like wow, what happened?
Oh my gosh, we actually get to break some news. How exciting!
I just went on the Hurricanes website, then bada boom, bada bing. There you go. He's first star. Hey, but that's it works out.
Well deserved.
But, very well deserved. You'll love to see it. That's just great for him. So big shout out to Marty Necas. Now, this is the last time we're playing the Kraken this year. Only 2 games against the teams from the Western Conference. They are 11-13-1. The Hurricanes are 16-7-1. Goaltending wise, if you're Joey Daccord, playing pretty good. 9-12 save percentage with a shutout. 256 goals against. 10-6-1. If you're Philip Grubauer, holy crap. 1-7-0, 362 goals against, and an 862 save percentage. Oof, Marone's talking about 2 different tales of goaltending if you're the Seattle Kraken.
Oh my God.
Across the board, Seattle is 29th in the power play, 18th in the penalty kill, 22nd in faceoffs, 22nd in goals for, 2.8, and 3.04, which is 14th in goals allowed. Yikes. Hurricanes, 7th on the power play, 5th on the penalty kill, and that's after what happened against the Florida Panthers, surprisingly enough. 7th in the face-off. They're under 4 goals per game, which we're kind of used to. Of course, that's what happens when you get a big old goose egg for the 0. Yikes. But what can you do? Still third, though. Still third at a 3.76. You'll take it.
Don't mind it.
Don't mind it. I see them getting back into the 4 goals per game range. Just give it to the Kraken real quick. And then goals allowed, even if they gave up 12 goals in 2 games, they're still 8th in the league. They were 5th. They were now 8th at 2.88. So not terrible.
Being top 10 in all of these stats, I think, is a pat on the back. Just the pat on the back the Hurricanes need going into week like this too, especially when you look at the Kraken stats too, where they don't have anything above 14th in any of these stats. I
will say this though. I've said that against when we played the Avalanche last time. I said it last time we played the Kraken last time. There's been some teams where like, okay, the stats don't look that great, and then you watch the game and you're like, holy crap, how is this game close? Especially against the Avs. Like when Avalanche last in Colorado, they're across the board, their stats were not that great. Didn't really matter because it's in Colorado, it's against the Avs, and they will give it to you, and that's what they did. So
that's what that second period was with 5 goals. Good grief!
They say X will give it to you, and that's what the Avalanche did. We'll talk about them here in a little bit. The last 10 games, the Kraken are 5-5-0. They are in a 3-game losing streak, losing to Anaheim, and then back-to-back game against the San Jose Sharks. Your Carolina Hurricanes, 5-4-1, of course, being Dallas and the Rangers, but then losing the back-to-back against the Florida Panthers. So right now, both of these teams, back-to-back losses against the same teams. Coincidence? I don't know. The one guy that you really got to watch out for is James McCann, 23 points in 25 games. Chandler Stevenson, 16 points, but he's got 2 goals, and he's also a -10. Yikes. In terms of defense, Evans, 16 points in 25 games. Brandon Montour, former Panther, 16 points in 24 games, doing what he does best for them, I guess. He's also a +6. So, and also Vince Dunn is officially back. So that's another guy to watch out for. You never want to look Vince Dunn. That guy's a menace. but he's
Let's talk about too, if we're talking about goal leaders in the last couple of games too. Shane Wright, second round draft pick a couple years ago, or second overall pick a couple years ago, is currently in the past 5 games leading the team in goals at 3, which is also, if we're talking about the Hurricanes, Seth Jarvis is in the same exact boat with 3 goals in the last 5 games. Sebastian Aho with 8 points in the last 5. Bjorkstrand matching him at 6. Sebastian Aho is also the assist leader for the Hurricanes in the past 5 games. And you talk about Riker Evans on defense. Currently,
he's coming out of nowhere.
5 assists in the last 5 games for the blue line guy, Riker Evans.
Definitely coming out of nowhere. Now, in terms of Hurricanes, of course, Martin Necas, 37 points in 24 games. Is a +6. Sebastian Aho, 25 points in 24 games, is a -4. Seth Jarvis is back. Of course, didn't score a goal in the game on Saturday, but still sits at 16 points in 17 games. You'd love to see it. Looking at the defense, obviously, Shingatsusper, 19 points in 24 games. They got Orlov and Sheffield sitting at a combined +36. You'd love to see it from those guys. They're playing phenomenal hockey. Goaltending, don't ask. I don't know who's going to be playing because we have gotten no official word yet. If Piotr's officially back, and if he's not, don't be surprised if it's Spencer Martin. We've still got until Tuesday to figure that out. Now
we all know. I was going to say we all know how Rod Brind'Amour and his caginess can be. So.
Yep. And now we move on to the Colorado Avalanche. We will preview this a little bit, but Bailey, I think we might have something special planned for everyone for Thursday. Possibly, maybe.
Possibly, maybe. So, as you all know, I will be gracing Raleigh, North Carolina with my presence for the Avalanche game. Super excited to cover that along with my wonderful co-host here. But I've got a fun guest set up for a special edition pregame podcast coming to you guys Thursday before the game. Not sure when exactly it's going to drop. It'll be probably within the hour or 2 following morning skates for both teams. Should those morning skates happen, sometimes, plans come up, things change. We'll know a little bit more on the schedule by Tuesday and Wednesday of this week.
Probably closer to Wednesday, but we'll figure something out. We'll coordinate it. So,
but I have at least one super exciting brand new guest for the podcast set up for Thursday, making his SurgeCast debut. It's the only hint I'm going to give you. Trying to reach out to somebody else. Don't know exactly what their schedule is going to look like yet. I'm keeping my fingers crossed because we were supposed to have plans that day, but we will see.
Luckily, if everything works out, we might run into him for morning skate because I'm running into him at practice against Nashville in the preseason. So might be a good chance we might get something figured out. The special guest that Bailey has is good friends with our hopeful other guests as well. So definitely keep an eye out for that. But absolutely. That being said, the Colorado Avalanche is a Thursday game. As of right now, as of a recording, they are 13-12. They did just lose to the Edmonton Oilers. I caught some of that game. I was hoping the Avs would win. That Kovalenko goal was absolutely amazing. Past that, Edmonton ran their will. Hopefully this time against the Avalanche, the Hurricanes don't get donkey stomped in the second period and lose 6-4. Oof, Maroons, that was a game. Here's the thing too. Like I said, hey, don't look at the stats. They might surprise you, even though it's like at the time, the Hurricanes are better than the Avs. Maybe we'll get lucky and then it'll turn out so well. Well, 6 on the power play for the Avalanche, not surprising compared to Carolina's 7th. 29th in the penalty kill. 71.9.
Yeah.
31st in the faceoffs. 13th in goals for at 3.2. However, they are 30th at 3.72. Take that as you will. But also the fact they just got Scott Wedgwood, who is 1-2-1 on the season.
And I will
369 goals against, 878 save percentage. And then Georgiev, who has been kind of on a run
He's
recently.
he's been finding his game. I will let
He's
you
still a
guys
sieve,
know.
though. He is still a sieve.
He
7-7-0, a 331 goals against, an 875 save percentage. But like you said, Bailey, he has picked it up recently. So
He has. And I will give Canes fans a little bit of insight. Not sure. I didn't get confirmation on when, but I did get confirmation that the Avalanche will be seeing Scott Wedgwood in action sometime this upcoming week. Now,
hopefully better looking pads and a different helmet.
Oh, no. Okay. Because the fact that he had Avalanche stickers on his Nashville Predators helmet, like he stuck Avalanche stickers on the helmet during warm-ups.
That was fantastic.
That's amazing. But
the pad though.
Hopefully he's got a lot to do within the next couple days because he packed an overnight bag and flew straight out to Colorado yesterday.
100%.
So
that's big props to him. Big props to him because that's a lot in a short span.
But so the Avalanche will be seeing Scott Wedgwood at some point this week. Don't know if it's going to be on Tuesdays or during Tuesday's game against Buffalo, or if they're going to bring out Georgiev for a top team like the Hurricanes. But more to come on that, hopefully later.
Yes. Basically about it for that, we're not really sure. That game's at 7:00 on Thursday, just like Tuesday's game against the Kraken. Obviously, guys to watch out for, Nathan MacKinnon, no surprise here, 36 points in 25 games, 29 of those are their assists, but it's still Nathan MacKinnon, who's already 4 shots shy of 100. Holy crap. Mikko Rantanen, 34 points in 25 games. Shocker there. Casey Milstead, hey, I'll give this kid a lot of props. I have one of my fantasy teams. He is doing phenomenal for me. Does have 18 points in 25 games, 7 goals. I'm gonna
discount you right there.
Thank you.
So
outside of his minus 15, he's doing decently enough. But
Casey Middlestats had a rough run of it recently. He had a really, really hot start to the season and has
that's what I was kind of referring
off.
to. I wasn't.
Yeah. Okay. Because I don't like he's been okay, just not in the last couple of games.
No, that's why I was kind of I wanted to forget the last couple of games of my fantasy team. But other than that, it's been pretty decent. But yeah, also minus 15. God, just no.
Middlestat's been somebody the Avs beat has been talking a while about in terms of needing to step up a game. So
I will say this though, Kovalenko, definitely someone to watch out for.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Talk about a guy who knows how to bring the physicality. So.
He does only have 8 points in 25 games, but let's be honest though too, he's barely playing 12 minutes a game, but still someone you really want to watch out for.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see how that goes. Jonathan Drouin, 4 points in 5 games.
Jonathan Drouin is also injured and will likely not play against the Hurricanes. Again, he is, I believe. Now I need to look. I believe he's he's month to month. No.
Good gracious. All right, well, never mind.
One of the two.
Defense-wise, Gerard, 14 points in 25 games. And, of course, as surprising as no one, the big boy on the defense, Kel McCarr, 32 points in 25 games. I mean, hello. It's Kel McCarr. You still got your big boys. No surprises there.
Mm-hmm. Valeri Nichushkin, who did not have a goal in yesterday's game, but had the shootout winner versus Vegas and got a goal against, who was it?
So basically, he's feeling pretty hot right about now, and someone be like, "Oh, okay."
Valeri Nichushkin's had a very successful return to the team after his stint in the Players Assistance Program. So,
yeah. So we know the big names to watch out for. Hopefully, this time it's not we're gonna get killed in the second period by these guys. Of course, it's in Carolina, so hopefully it's a little bit better because usually when we go to Colorado, it doesn't go well, but in Carolina. The last time I faced these guys at home, Martin Necas did get a hat trick.
Natural Hattie
with all of us in attendance, with somehow none of us on press row at the time. Of course, I wasn't a fan. Big shout out to Dan Wagner for that.
Mhm.
But it's funny because I think it was Brad from Storm Cellar was like,
Mm.
the last 2 games I was there as a fan, there was 2 hat tricks. It was Seth Jarvis, and then it was a Marty Nietzsche, and then when I'm in the press box, not so much.
Mhm.
So I take that as you will, I guess. I don't know, but
Yep.
hopefully it's not going to be as close as last time when the Avalanche did come back into it pretty quick, and it was kind of like, oh boy, here we go. Where we
Yeah.
saw Kochekov start, Rontanen comes in, gets hurt, and then Kochekov's back in the net. So hopefully nothing as crazy as last time, but
It's every single time these two teams play each other, at least somebody comes out of it injured. So
it's weird. It's
the
totally weird.
The Avalanche can't afford any more injuries.
The
And
Hurricanes
to be
can't afford an
completely
injury.
honest, yeah,
can't-
the
they
Hurricanes can't afford to. Obviously, the Florida games aside, can't afford to ruin the hot run this team's been on so far. So we need to play a clean, healthy game here, folks.
Yeah,
Is what I'm telling you.
Well, of course, it is your first time on press row for the Hurricanes
Well,
game too. So that's
second
gonna be
time, first
interesting.
time actually writing for a publication, but
Technicalities. Either
it's my
way.
first time being credentialed, like officially credentialed on press row. We'll say that.
Well, pardon me, but either way, it should be fun. Of course, with both of us being on press row, who would have thought Who would have thought back from like the Stadium Series of 23 that
Right.
somehow 2/3 of this podcast is on press row being writers. Who could have saw
Right.
that coming?
Gosh.
But it should be
Crazy
fun
ride.
though. Yeah, should be fun though.
Like I said, super
For these-
exciting things planned for Thursday.
Hopefully for these 2 games of the Hurricanes, at least if we get 4 points, great. If not, 3 at the worst. If we lose in overtime to one of them, well, it'll probably be Colorado. So be it.
If I'm gonna give an overtime to either game, I'm gonna give it to the Seattle game because it's anytime these two teams play each other, the Avalanche and the Hurricanes, it's a blowout. It's
also very
usually,
true.
or it's not within a 1-goal game. I will say that. So
Yeah, I mean, I just don't want to lose in overtime to the Seattle Kraken though, because they're not that great. But
no, but yeah, it's
I don't know. As long as we get 3 points, I don't care who it's to. As long as we get 3 points, that's all that matters at the worst.
that's fair.
If we split, oof, no thanks. And I
No.
think we have We have one more game later this week, but of course we'll probably either we might record at some point or not. So in case we don't before this week's out, we do have. Oh, it's the Islanders on Saturday in the middle of a 7-game homestand. It's really 6, but they decided to throw an away game in the middle of 6 home games. It's the Islanders on Saturday at 5:00 on the 7th. So let's say if we don't record before then, out of 3 games, 5 out of a possible 7. No, sorry, math is wrong. That's 6 points. 4 out of a 6 we'll be fine with. If we get 5 out of 6, I'll be happy with it. But
I'm gonna go for.
depends if we have Piotr back this week.
That's it. See, I'm trying to get better with my technicalities. But
If Piotr's back, we're looking at like at least hopefully 5 out of 6.
If Piotr's back, I'm gonna go 4 out of 6.
Oh, so if he's not back, you're looking at 2 out of 6.
I'll give 3 max.
3 out of 6 if Piotr's not back, but if he is back, it's 4 out of 6.
That's what I'll give it. Yep.
I would say for me, at worst, 4 out of 6. Best case scenario, 5 out of 6.
Fair.
We're gonna get a point out of these 3 games somewhere. It could be either against Seattle, it could be Colorado. Heck, it could be the Islanders for all we know because it's the Islanders and it's on Long Island. So
Yep.
You never know how it goes. You never know how it goes with there, but should be an interesting week. We'll see how it goes. But Bailey, I think that kind of wraps up an episode. We were shooting for an hour. It's a little bit over and not too bad. we had a lot of games to catch up on. Of course, we had to preview some games as well. Not really going to preview the Islanders game because that's way too far out in advance. We at least wanted to try to get some of Seattle, some of Colorado. I know we have a lot of, we got some stuff coming up on Thursday for a rare double episode week. So make sure to keep an eye out for Thursday as all that goes down. Of course, we'll talk to, Kat, who wasn't here today. Hopefully her and Rich are having fun with family. And then, of course, we'll talk to, Rich and figure everything else out on the back end for Thursday. But yeah, what a good episode to have. Hark, like I said, going back to the old times of me and you just running the show, I guess, and me being in the main seat, which has been weird. It's been a while. It's been a while. Yeah. It's been a while.
You still got it. Yeah. You're still hanging in there.
It took me 4 tries to get the intro correct, but of course we've changed the intro since I was no longer in the main seat. So
you can tell I haven't been on the podcast in a bit too, with me misspeaking in places. Good grief, gotta cut that.
Yeah, right. Of course, people are gonna be like, "What are you talking about? What did you cut?" That's the one thing great about. You'll never know. But before we go, Bailey, of course, we always got to make sure to plug all the necessary things we have to plug. Where can people find you in our amazing network?
Well, before I get into me or our amazing network, do have to shout out our wonderful third co-host, Kat Hunter, who is not here with us today.
The main host, the new main host of the
new main
show.
Host, yes.
The new main
hope
host.
She's having fun with family. Thank you for handing the reins over to us today. You can find her over on Twix. I'll give her thing today.
Oh, why?
I'll give her thing today at Caniac Chick. Find her over on TikTok at KVT Hunter 74, I believe. As far as
with new videos, she's been dropping new videos.
Yep.
The one with Rich recently, that was pretty good. That was pretty good one for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
I'll give her some props on that one.
She's never dropped a bad video, let's be honest. But as far as I'm concerned, you can follow me over on X at Bailey Curtis, and that is Bailey with 2 Y's. Follow me over on Instagram at Bailey Lynn Curtis. I have links in my bios regarding where to find my articles. I do write articles. Hello. For the hockey news, I am the site editor for the Colorado Avalanche over there. So be sure to go check out some of my articles. Again, I'm going to have a fun one and some fun content coming out for the game on Thursday, as I will be traveling out there again. So excited for that. As far as the network goes, you can find the Hockey Podcast Network at thehockeypodcastnetwork.com. Find them over on Twitter at HockeyPodNet. Doesn't matter what team you're looking for, what kind of content you're looking for. Hockey Podcast Network has pretty much anything hockey related your heart may desire. Got some cast members from Shoresy with a podcast over there too. So it's pretty cool. No matter what team you're looking for, be sure to check out our wonderful network. Again, the hockeypodcastnetwork.com. And Zach, where can the people find you and the podcast?
Yeah, of course. You can find the podcast at the Searchcast. We're all over the place on X, Blue Sky, Instagram, YouTube. Bailey, you need to get over to Blue Sky because it's actually pretty decent. Another area for you to drop some content.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So there you go. Yeah, of course, Wade Ventures over there. Big shout out to him once again. Of course, it's a lot of the usual Canes folk are over there, so it's always fun. But yeah, Searchcast is all over the place. Just look up Searchcast, you'll find us. 5-star rating and review on the podcast platforms. We'll love that. YouTube, if you're on it, hi, what's up? How you doing? Subscribe, hit the bell notification so you don't miss a show. Leave a thumbs up to let us know if you like the show as well. Share it. We love to get everyone to enjoy the podcast as much as possible. If you want to follow me, I am at OneTrueZach. I'm also on Blue Sky at the Zachary Martin. If you want to check out all my stuff over there, I do have link trees in my bio where you can find all of my articles at the Hockey Writers, or just go to thehockeywriters.com. You can search for my author page at Zach Martin. You'll find my stuff there. If you want to check out my other podcast that I do, it's
another podcast.
Yes, LO_Hurricanes on Twitter /X. if you just want to look on other podcast platforms, Locked on Hurricanes, leave a 5-star review on that show as well. It's also on YouTube. Just look up Locked on Hurricanes, subscribe, all that good stuff as well on that side of things too. So always a fun time doing stuff like that. But I think, Billy, that's pretty much it. I think we have nothing else to plug or talk about. So this was fun. It's always fun talking about our Carolina Hurricanes.
Absolutely.
So yeah. So hope everyone enjoys their Sunday, or whenever they do listen to this podcast. Hope everyone enjoys their day. Hopefully
hope everybody had a great week. Hope everybody has a good week coming up. Hopefully you guys had a great Thanksgiving and a good start to the holiday season. It is officially Mariah Carey season. So super excited for all of that and all the Christmas music to come. They've already put the Christmas music overhead on the speakers at my job. So super excited about that. But in the meantime, again, thank you guys for listening. I'm Bailey.
I'm Zach.
And we will see you next time.
See you next time. Yes, we'll see you next time here at the Searchcast.